Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I want to share the process of Kaal Bhairav Sadhana for the beginners and the benefits of it. I got motivated to do this video when a few weeks ago I was in the middle of my daily sadhana. I got a very strong urge to make a video on Bhairav Sadhana. I consider it as a divine sign from the deity to share with more people about the Bhairav Sadhana, and through Bhairava's will, I hope that this video inspires new audience to learn more about Kaal Bhairav and eventually take up Bhairav Sadhana. For beginners, it is a very simple process. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes a day, and I'll mention the details later in this video. So Bhairav Sadhana, to a great extent and beyond doubt, gives quick results, and oftentimes a sadhak would benefit to overcome their current situation, and in the long run will also make the sadhak very strong in mind and makes them fearless to overcome the hurdles and challenges that life throws at us. Bhairava enables the sadhak to face the life's difficulties without fear and with utmost belief that the deity will guide you to get past any hardships. I am hoping that it could be the deity's will that this video is Bhairava's reminder to a certain audience that is already familiar about Kaal Bhairav and the sadhana, but haven't been able to get into it for any reason, but are willing to start the Bhairav sadhana for their own benefit. So when I came across Kaal Bhairav video for the very first time in my life, about nearly a year ago, I did not have any idea about Kaal Bhairav himself, although I've heard the name as a passing reference occasionally. And after learning more about Kaal Bhairav, I was convinced I wanted to begin the sadhana immediately, and over the period I understood that it was the deity himself who wanted to come into my life and eventually triggered the thought to get into this practice. So most of my talking points in this video are quick summarizations of various contents I have referenced over the last many months. So I will initially talk a little bit about Kaal Bhairav, how Bhairav originated, and then the purpose of or the benefits of sadhana. And then I'll also talk about how to do the sadhana itself for the beginners. And for more in-depth information and any additional context around Kaal Bhairav, I included a few additional links in the description from where I drew inspiration. And the contents in those videos also talk about the methods that I learned about the sadhana for the beginners. So about Kaal Bhairav, as you may have already heard quite a few times, he is a fierce manifestation of Lord Shiva that took shape when three Murtis were arguing among themselves about who the greatest among them were. And while Vishnu agreed that Shiva is the greatest, Brahma was adamant to prove that he himself is the greatest and went on to lie that he could also find the source of the ultimate power of the universe. And during that argument and in that moment of anger, Shiva's fierce form appeared in the form of Kaal Bhairav, and Kaal Bhairav cut off one of Brahma's 5 heads at that time with his little fingernail. Metaphorically, this action can also be seen that Kaal Bhairav's actions as destruction of ego, and also an action that demonstrates upholding the truth. And because of his actions, he wanted to show the path of dharma, where he later does tremendous penance for the Brahmahatya, and he couldn't escape the karmic repercussions, and to demonstrate that even God is not free from some of the actions that have severe karmic repercussions. There is no escape. So Kaal Bhairav upasaks tend to orient to dharma and truth due to this nature of the deity. And Kaal Bhairav, as I mentioned earlier, is the destroyer of fear, ego, and he also removes, or keeps the dark energies or evil forces away, providing protection, and importantly, he also controls the time, hence the name Kaal. And in the age of Kali Yuga, it's hard to escape from the evil eyes in the society or negative energies around us, and a Bhairav Sadhana can provide a ring of protection and possibly reduce the intensity of negative energy impact on a sadhak's life or their family or household. This is also because Bhairav is a very active deity that is very close to the physical realm of earth, and therefore he responds very quickly. And sometimes or many times Kaal Bhairav sadhaks see quick results as soon as they begin the sadhana, and before they start to see a significant spiritual progress in the later stages of the sadhana. Additionally, Kaal Bhairav will also bring material benefits to the sadhak, and the benefits manifest sometimes really quickly, as I mentioned. And he will also act as a guide or guru, or help you find the right path in your spiritual journey for the ultimate liberation. So I would encourage to take up the sadhana with an intent to continue for a long time, so that the deity's production and rewards will continue to flow throughout the life. Kaal Bhairav is also a guardian deity or a kshetrapala. So he is a protector of a certain region or a certain area defined by a boundary. So in general, if there is a significant undertaking of Bhairav Sadhana or mass undertaking of Bhairav Sadhana across the region, for example, in a neighborhood or a state or a country, that will strengthen the security of that space and be able to effectively counter any external or internal threats. So he will enable the security to become really strong and protect the space from these threats that are either rising from internally or externally. And he also ensures to safeguard the dharma and the peace and prosperity of the land. In one of the videos I provided below, Rajarshi Nandi sir mentions how significantly Bhairava was worshipped in the Kashmir region many decades and centuries ago, and as the practice diminished over the period due to invasions and other reasons, we can all now witness how that region is in a troubled state and directly causes many other issues to the border areas, as well as those issues sometimes cascade down to the other parts of the country as well. The fact that a lot of interest amongst the citizens to take up Bhairav Sadhana in the recent times and such a resurgence countrywide is very much an indication of the deity's will to activate his energy and possibly make the country strong once again, both security wise and dharmic wise. As each individual does this sadhana, they will have a certain level of influence in further strengthening the undercurrent of Bhairava's energy to grow stronger and bigger in protecting you, your family, and the country. As I earlier mentioned, I got a strong urge to spread the Kaal Bhairav Sadhana related message when I was in deep concentration of Bhairava, and took it as a sign and will of the deity to reach out to more individuals and for them to undertake the sadhana. In addition to being the guardian deity, Kaal Bhairav is also a guide, one who provides clarity of thought in our daily life or in making major life decisions. I personally had one such example when I was confused about a decision I needed to make that would have had tremendous impact on me and my family, and during the sadhana I got more clarity about the direction I need to take and eventually help me make the decision. Further, the deity will also guide one's life on the spiritual path towards their Ishtadevta. Ishtadevta sadhana will take one's spiritual journey to greater heights, and a consistent sadhak will benefit from it to eventually achieve ultimate liberation. The way Kaal Bhairav Sadhana will benefit for Ishtadevta is the initial sadhana forms a platform and prepares you to be able to absorb and experience the intense energy from the Ishtadevta. Let's say, for example, Ma Kali. So Kaal Bhairav will guide on that path. And depending on the past lives and current life karmic actions or dharmic practices, as well as an individual's current need in their life, a deity will present themselves and the devotee will automatically be motivated and inspired to pursue the path of the sadhana. As we say, modern times require modern solutions. A video on YouTube feed or a post on a Facebook or Instagram feed suddenly appearing can be the will of a deity to help you at this point in life. These can be subtle indications or sometimes more persistent indications, and an individual will feel it automatically. The deity will then take you forward based on the consistency of your sadhana. For each individual, it can happen at different times in their life when the deity will present themselves in their life. For some, it can be in their early 20s. For some, it may be in 40s or 50s. It all depends on life's karma and a few other things. For people intent on spiritual and material benefits, Kaal Bhairav Sadhana will help. In the very long run, the sadhak could lean towards making more spiritual progress than material gains after connecting to the deity strongly. From few examples that some people have mentioned about their experience after taking up the sadhana, going by the comments in certain videos and listening to people in various forums, the common themes across the sadhaks has been that they have experienced tremendous positive energy surge and they are able to become more fearless, have access to higher spiritual experience, and many have benefited from overcoming obstacles, depressions, health issues, able to gain clarity of thought, or experiencing sudden progress in professional life or a positive outcome from a potentially bad situation at work or in the personal life. And there could be many more as well. So, with that context, I will discuss on how to do the basic daily sadhana for the beginners. I'm going to describe the process that is followed in our Vedic tradition. Much of the method here is that I learned from watching various videos and the practices that I observed being followed at home before and after I got into daily sadhana. A quick note before I go into the details is I'd like to clearly mention that this is not an Upadesha, this is a very simple mantra and I am not a guru. I am merely reproducing whatever I have learned across different forums and sharing it with everyone for their own benefit. So, now getting into the process. When you begin the sadhana, and as a beginner, is that you want to pick a specific time of the day. It can be morning or evening. Morning is even better, early morning. Take a bath before getting into the sadhana. Find a very quiet place if possible. If you have a dedicated puja space at home, that's great. If not, then try to find a space that is clear of any distractions, calm and clean. So once you have found this space or already have the space, the process that we follow here is called the Panchopachara in the Vedic tradition, and what it means is we'll use the offerings of 5 elements to the god, and these are Chandan or Gandham, and then flowers or Pushpam, Dhoop and Deep, and then Naivedyam or Bhog. Right? So at the start of the sadhana, you offer a Chandan Tilak or Gandham Tilak to the deity while saying Chandanam Samarpyami or Gandham Samarpyami on the photo that you could obtain of Kaal Bhairav, and then you offer flowers to the deity in your puja space saying Pushpam Samarpyami. And offering flowers have many significant reasons. One that I strongly believe is that flowers aid in attracting a deity's energy. So That's one of the reasons. And then and if in case you're unable to find flowers or source the flowers, you can use grains of rice that is mixed with turmeric, and you offer the grains as an alternative to flowers, and you could recite the same mantra as Pushpam Samarpyami. And then you offer the dhup, showing the dhup to the deity, saying Dhupam Samarpyami, and then you light a diya, and then you show the deep or diya to the god, saying Deepam Samarpyami. And similar to flowers, the diya also has a significance where it attracts divine energies, and it is also a fire god and a witness to the sadhana that you are doing, that will carry it to the deity, and it will also dispel any negative energies around you. And for lighting a diya, mustard or gingerly oil is commonly used in Bhairav Sadhana. So that's that. And now you have started creating an environment around you to let the energies flow into the space, and then maintain the Bhairava energy or the deity as long as you do the sadhana. Once you have the right environment, you have a greater chance at experiencing the positive energy and the deity around you. So once you have done this, you do the achamna. You'll find online resources on how to do it. It's a simple process. It takes less than 30 seconds to do it. And achamna is basically you're purifying yourself internally before performing the mantra jap. And once you're done with these steps, then you begin chanting the mantra Om Bhairavaya Namaha. This is the most commonly used nama mantra for the japa, and usually it's repeated 108 times in a single mala. I think it's a very good start to begin with one mala a day for the beginners, and see if you're able to kind of sync with the energy by doing one mala a day for a few days after you started. Let's say a week or 11 days or 21 days. Remember that Kaal Bhairav is an intense form, and sometimes it may not be a suitable sadhana for some people. And if you observe significantly unfavorable outcomes consistently in your life after beginning the sadhana, you can take a step back and seek a guru's direction and guidance on what might be the best path for you. That would be good. But in general, largely, I think the experience for many folks has been largely positive. And if you're able to kind of, as long as things are very neutral or turning out to be positive in nature, outcome wise, for all the situations that you're encountering, then I think the sadhana is working in the right direction for you. And once you're able to sync with the deity's energy for a certain period of time while doing one mala a day, then you can increase the number of malas each day that you do to maybe, from 1 to 3 and then so on. When doing the mantra jap, the important thing is that you keep your focus on the mantra, because the mantra is the deity. The more you focus and try to feel the divinity in the mantra, the greater you will experience the presence of Bhairava energy around you and within yourself. And once you complete your japa, next you offer a little naivedyam or bhog. It could be jaggery, dry fruits, coconut, any sweets or any home cooked food. There is no specific or prescribed quantity as such, but this is, you're making a small offering to honor the god and showing bhakti to the deity for him letting you to tap into his energy and benefit from it. And that's the end of the process of the mantra jap. So as I said, this whole process might take about 5 to 7 minutes for the beginners, and while doing one mala a day, a little dedication of time every day goes a long way in your spiritual journey and unlocks spiritual paths in life that you will excitedly look forward to as you progress through. With that being said, let me also dive a little more into the experience aspect of the daily sadhana. If you notice you're feeling more calm and in a better state of mind, have a strong feeling that things in your life are starting to have positive outcomes or changes, however small or significant, this is an indication that the mantra is working for you. For some, the results will appear sooner before normalizing at a certain higher level, and sometimes you may not see anything happen at all for many days. That doesn't mean it's not working for you, as long as the impact is still neutral. The timeline on how quickly Bhairava works in an individual's life depends on numerous factors like current and past life karmas, your dharmic actions, and so on. There is no thumb rule that every individual will have the same kind of experience in the same amount of time. When you begin this practice, the very intent on having the ultimate experience of the deity, you need to be very consistent as much as possible. Try not to miss a single day, as this is a progressive experience. More consistent you are, the greater the benefit of the sadhana. And try to continue for as long as possible, be it many years or for the rest of your life and so on. Once you get into it and start experiencing things, you will be automatically motivated to continue this practice, because there is no one else better than you to let you know that this is working for you and you're benefiting from it, and you look forward to it every day to continue doing this, because you're experiencing something that you have not before, and the results of the sadhana is tremendous, and you're convinced enough that there's going to be so much great potential to be unlocked and explored that you want to kind of look forward to and experience. For some people, maybe when they see the results in a very short span of time and think that, okay, I've got what I needed at this point in life that I'm looking for with this sadhana, and then the motivation to continue sadhana may not be a priority anymore. But the key is to remind yourself to keep doing it every day with a logic and rationale that if you have experienced a positive outcome in such a short time, imagine the many more things that can happen to you significantly in the many years that are ahead of you, and how you could benefit from this sadhana. Life is a marathon, and you want to continue doing this in the coming years, so that you are prepared to handle the successes of your life and be able to enjoy the success, or whatever challenges or hurdles the life throws at you, you have the ability to handle and overcome, and then also have the protection of Bhairava or Ishta Devata with you. When you're in the middle of mantra japa, you'll feel sometimes amounts of energy bursts internally, and that's due to there is a very small part of the Shakti or the ultimate cosmic energy in us, and it's responding to the mantra. You will eventually feel that Bhairava energy within as well as around you with practice, and the more and more you practice, the sooner you are going to kind of feel that energy, and for prolonged period of time. Initially it could be very little time, like sometimes a second, less than a second for beginners, but as you practice, that time kind of keeps increasing for a few seconds and so on, and that's going to be a great blissful experience. And once you see that you're able to sustain and maintain the energy, or be in sync with the energy that's working for you, then you would know, okay, whether you're ready to go take your sadhana to the next level, meaning you want to increase the number of malas you do per day. You have started with 1, and then you want to take it to 3 malas a day, or 5 malas a day, or 7 malas a day. And each time you increase, you can keep that count consistent for a certain duration, like 21 days, 41 days, or 108 days, whichever works for you. You will intuitively know eventually as you get deeper into the practice, that what is working for you and when is the right time for you to increase it. Keep your focus on what you're doing, and instead of chasing a quick and fast result, keep it consistent, have patience, and focus on the mantra and the energy, and eventually things will start flowing as and when they will need to. There's no one else better than the ultimate Shakti that knows better what's good for you at any given in time. So surrender your life to that Shakti and Bhairava, and then go with the flow. So with that, I'll conclude this video. Thank you.